Welcome to Michigan Reimagined, presented by Good Marketing and Wagoner Financial. And here's your host, Chris Buck.
So it's said that success begets success and investment often begets investment. I recently saw an article about sections of Kalamazoo making major investments and learned more about how they might affect the housing nearby. Here to share his perspective on these endeavors is a realtor with eXp Realty of Southwest Michigan, Mr. Jared Stout. Welcome to the show, Jared.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. No, I was really captivated by a LinkedIn post that you had that had a YouTube video talking about this massive development, and then I saw a second one come out. And then as a residential realtor, you're kind of really paying attention to the coattail effects of that. I think that's fantastic, and I'd love to open up a conversation about that. So first and foremost, just kind of how did you get involved in residential real estate, and how long have you been involved in that that career path?
Yeah, so just over 8 years ago in the summer, I decided to step out of the corporate world and try my hand at being an independent contractor. And real estate's the path I chose, and I've been doing it for 8 years. I love it. Loved it from the second I got into it. I was motivated to start in real estate because I bought a house in 2005. I wasn't even married yet. I was engaged. And we decided that, the first thing we should do as a young married couple was buy a house with no money. Because that's what everybody did in 2005.
Right.
So we joined that bandwagon, and I paid somewhere in the neighborhood of $60,000 for the house. And in 2009, after over 500 days on the market, we sold it for a whopping 20 grand. So
wow.
That was my first real estate investment. So that experience kind of encouraged me to look back and see, man, could I help people, first of all, avoid a situation like that or help me through a situation like that? We ended up with a great realtor who got us through it. And then we bought houses and sold houses and had family members, and we all used the same realtor because they got us through that. So it's something I really wanted to get involved with after that experience.
Right on. Sounds good. So it's been a crazy decade for or even a little bit more than that, right? So you have the recession, and then you have COVID and all the things that go along with that. How do you stay educated on the trends and how to advise your clients? I don't know as much about eXp Realty as I do some of the other brands. I certainly see the signs around, but I don't know anyone engaged with them. How do they kind of help arm you with staying on top of the trends and how to advise clients?
Yeah, it's a great brokerage. If you're familiar with eXp, it's a cloud brokerage. So everything's at your fingertip. You just log in and you just find the topic that you're interested in, and it's there. There's 300 people who've given presentations on their experiences with different things. So you can learn a lot there. There's a great group of people that I work with, that I collaborate with, that are local, that are great realtors. And but most of my learning comes from just being in the field, making offers, listing houses, watching how the process happens, and it changes. I mean, I started 8 years ago. The market was flying. The people were shocked at what they were or what houses were being listed for and how fast they were selling. That was really the biggest shock when I first started with the veteran realtors that I surrounded myself with. They just couldn't believe how fast houses would sell. They were so used to the days when I first experienced real estate, when I had my house in 2005. They were used to houses sitting on the market for 9 months and doing foreclosures and short sales, and so the market to a realtor back then was kind of a dream market. I could list it and be done with it in 3 days. But it's affected people though in a way as far as buyers are concerned. The experience of having to put multiple offers in on multiple houses and losing, it's heartbreaking. And that's the type of market we were in.
Yep. Well, I want to give a nod to our friends at Wagoner Financial. Whether you're just starting out, planning for retirement, or anywhere in between, Wagoner is here to help you make smart financial decisions. They offer comprehensive, customized planning from investment strategies and tax solutions to insurance, accounting, and estate planning. Wagoner is dedicated to supporting you, your family, your business, and your future. Using their unique team approach and maximizing each member's specializations, they ensure there's someone there who will have the answer to your question and is ready to help. Schedule a consultation by visiting wagoner-financial.com or give them a call at 517-853-3367. So a couple big investments going on in Kalamazoo. The one that really piqued my interest was a major expansion, renovation, modernization of the Kalamazoo Country Club. Is that my understanding correct?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. If you're familiar with that area, it's the Kalamazoo Country Club is kind of tucked back in an older 50s, 60s, 70s neighborhood. And so it's when I first noticed it a few years ago, I noticed that there was a huge mound of dirt. That's the first thing I saw in an area where the country club, I didn't think the country club was there. It was kind of, I think they purchased that property. I don't know the intricate details, but they've expanded and they took that whole area and they just flattened it. And that's when I started looking into it and started realizing what they were doing. And it's pretty awesome. It's gonna be a main attraction for sure once they're complete, I think.
What kinds of components are they adding to it? Are they extending golf, or is it more clubhouse and pools and tennis courts and that kind of stuff?
It's all of the above.
Okay.
From what I can tell, it's everything. I mean, it's estimated. I mean, there's no telling how much money they're spending, but it could be estimated up, $500 million on this thing or even more. They brought in a new guy, Andrew Green, who's done a lot of PGA courses. They brought him in, and he's doing the whole championship 18-hole course. So they built another 11-hole course back behind where the championship course is going to be. And so the golf is definitely going to be awesome when that's all complete and done. But yeah, they're adding aquatics, they're adding tennis courts, most likely pickleball courts, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
So there's just a ton going on when it's done. It seems like it's going to be amazing. You can actually see it now taking shape as you're driving by. That used to be a pretty wooded area. There's a lake back there. There's some residential houses back there. There were some other things back there. That's all been cleared out. Now it's a beautiful rolling hill, starting to look like a golf course. It's going to be pretty awesome.
So, I think about Coattail effects. I mean, it's an economic development podcast pretty much. And so when you see these kinds of investments happening at face value, if you're interested in golfing or you're a member of the country club or even just bullish on people spending money and hiring the trades to turn what it was into what it's going to be, jobs created, money invested, taxable value goes up, benefits the municipality, all those kinds of things. But sometimes the undersung portion of this is how it can affect positively neighboring parcels of land, right? So, if you've got, whatever, I mean, traffic counts are going to be studied, and I'm sure they're going to improve roadways to get there, and, you install a traffic light or whatever, and some people get a little concerned about increased traffic. But if you have restaurants nearby, if you have residential homes nearby, I mean, all of a sudden you create this magnet of beauty and coolness and, and attraction to people who have disposable income driving right past your business or your residence. It improves the property values. Is my understanding. I actually do have my real estate license. I was more in the commercial entity both times of my careers that I did real estate. But talk to me a little bit about, how do you kind of unpack what this might do to those neighborhoods, and what's your strategy to communicate with these residents about, do you know this is going on? If you're looking to sell, maybe hold off, or what's your message to those folks?
Yeah. I mean, anytime there's development around you, that's going to be a positive thing for your investment. So if your investment is your house, you want people moving in to the area and building new stores, new restaurants. You really, that's a sign that you're living in a place that people want to invest in, and that's a good thing. The funny thing is, the first house I built that I bought that I talked about earlier was adjacent to the country club where it's being built now.
Right.
So back in 2009, they weren't investing in the Kalamazoo Country Club.
Sure.
Right. So somebody who's thinking about buying a house in that area, it's a starter home area for the most part, smaller houses, less than 1,000 square feet. In my opinion, it's a good investment. Right. Look who else is making an investment less than a mile away, and you can ride your bike there. Right. I think they go hand in hand, in my opinion, from what I've noticed.
Is there undeveloped land near there that could potentially become more subdivisions, or is it all pretty well occupied?
There's enough undeveloped land because where the Kalamazoo Country Club sits, it's right on the I-94 corridor, right before you get to 131. It's just in that corner where there's a lot of traffic. So west of Kalamazoo, there's still a lot of land to be developed. Even southwest, the Texas Township area, there's still a lot of land to be developed there. So it's close enough to the country club that it could spark not development right there where those old houses built in the 50s and 60s are. I mean, possibly they can start tearing those down and building bigger houses, but you're going to see the developments continue to grow west side of Kalamazoo for sure.
Right. And I've seen pockets of kind of micro homes or small square foot printed homes where, as someone who's lived there for a while, and you threw out some numbers that are pretty low from a housing standpoint. We know housing is in short supply. There are people out there who be like, wow, okay, all of a sudden this new development's coming. Long story short is you can see some of those neighborhoods of small homes get turned into these awesome little bungalows for like retirees, empty nesters. You can put a lot of money into a small home and still be on top, of your financial game and make these places really charming and modern and cute and up to date, even if maybe they're a little under the weather right now. Plus, like you said, if there's vacant land, then you can get new subdivision builders, assuming construction costs, come back down or whatever. But I mean, again, housing is a problem for this state. And I think that having attractive things nearby might be able to help, develop some more housing for people of all income levels.
Yeah, it's kind of like, putting the horse before the cart, right? So you build something that is going to attract people and investment like the Kalamazoo Country Club, and then it puts the pressure on developers to start building more houses.
Yeah.
As opposed to building a whole bunch of houses and then doing the investment. So I think it's happening in the right order. It's still hard. You'd like to see more houses built. I mean, if you'd like to see a $500 million development go in. Because then that would give people more opportunities to buy houses.
You've got
increased inventory, and that's good.
Well, you've got great employers, down in Southwest Michigan. You've got a lot of desirable living opportunities, and I know for a fact that most employers and major investments that say the MEDC and others, Southwest Michigan First, are trying to attract into the area. It can't be just we're going to build a plant of whatever nature and create 2,000 jobs without also dealing with the infrastructure of people. You need good roadways, you need housing, you need schools to be up to snuff, you need rural broadband, you need public transit, you need all the things that are going to childcare. You need all the things that are going to help these people who are going to hopefully be impound population growth, have a place to live and have a quality of life. And so I think getting all of these things, entertainment value, housing, and jobs all kind of happening at the same levels and growing it up is the right strategy. So pretty cool project to see that happening. Do you have any idea what the kind of when they think they will be done, this construction project?
I think 2027 is kind of the goal date. And there's a lot going on in Kalamazoo. And it seems like 2027, 2028.
Yep.
It's going to all be coming to a wrap. So and there's enough time to throw some developments together, get some new housing out there on the west side of Kalamazoo or the northwest side of Kalamazoo even,
right?
Where they just they got the new corridor going into downtown Kalamazoo from the north on 131. There's plenty of land up there. Hopefully some development takes place in that area too.
Right on. Want to give a nod to our friends at Triterra. Triterra is a leading environmental consulting firm headquartered in Lansing, Michigan, with staff around the state to serve your brownfield development, environmental consulting, and natural resource management needs. Since 2008, Triterra has been successfully advising a wide range of organizations to implement solutions to complex environmental challenges. If you're a business, a developer, a property owner, lending institution, attorney, or a governmental entity looking for a solution, and you want prompt and timely service, don't hesitate to contact my friends at Triterra. You cannot miss by calling them at 517-702-0470 or visit them at triterra.us. So let's downshift into the other project that caught my attention. You got the Arcadia Creek And remind me what that space is all about. It's Arcadia Creek is the name of a kind of a community gathering space. Is it an outdoor concert venue or a park system, or what exactly is that now?
Yep. So it's Arcadia Creek Festival site. It's where all the festivals through the 90s and early 2000s that when I was in college at Western, is what you did in the summertime.
Okay. Where is
outdoor, it? They have an outdoor stage. They have concerts. They do Rib Fest, Taste of Kalamazoo, Blues Fest, all kinds of different things would go on there. But downtown Kalamazoo has changed over the years, and the main attractions have become more restaurants and breweries and that sort of thing. So the Arcadia site still does some festival stuff, but it's not nearly the attraction that it used to be. And so they're kind of renovating it to retrofit what's happening downtown, especially with the Kalamazoo Event Center.
Got it. Where is it?
It's really the only space downtown where there's enough room to do an outdoor concert or an outdoor festival. So I like that they're keeping that alive so that they can continue to do that, and then just renovating it, making it more modern.
Is it, I'm trying to remember the roads here. So like West Edge kind of terminates to the north downtown, right?
Yep.
And so if you were downtown and you went south on West Edge, you've got a lot of classic residential, beautiful old homes that take you all the way down until then you get closer to 94, and then it becomes kind of big box central. And a lot of people think of Kalamazoo as West Edge, kind of like 28th Street in Grand Rapids. You've got the main drag of kind of big box stores, but is it down by West Edge towards downtown? I forget. That's not Main Street,
it's
but
right there. So the Radisson Hotel is right there on the corner of West Michigan Avenue and Rose Street.
Yep.
Which is a block away from West Edge. West Edge turns into a one-way street and heads out, and then Park Street brings you back the other way back towards, or brings you in. West Edge brings you out towards Portage.
Got it.
But anyway, so it's right there, right downtown. It's surrounded by all the breweries, and you can walk if you're at the Radisson, you're at Old Burdick's, or you're at Brick and Brine, or any of those places right there. You can just walk out, and it's right there. It's a big, huge. It's kind of got a little park on it, and it's this big concrete area with some overhangs and a stage, and it's a beautiful area, but you can tell it's outdated, and
Yep.
so there's not much you can do with making that anything other than a summer site. So in the winter, it's basically nothing you can do there. So what it looks like they're trying to do is renovate it in such a way that it has some practical use for the winter as well. And we'll see. I mean, there should be a lot again, 2027 is when they're planning to complete all those projects, like with the event center. We'll see what happens there too, what they decide to do, but they're going to be renovating it this year.
That's fantastic. So the all those festivals that you rattled off, have they found other homes, or are they now defunct but hoping to be resuscitated and placed at this particular space so it's activated a lot of days out of the year?
Yeah, for the most part, they just got smaller, and so they found other places to go, like Irish Fest moved to a different place, Greek Fest moved to a different. These are all festivals I went to in the 90s that were just huge. They all went to like smaller venues and more intimate type surroundings. It became less of a Kalamazoo thing and more of a just a social event outside of that. So
right on.
They're gonna hopefully they're gonna bring it all back. They're still doing some big things. They just had Island Fest, and they had Pride Fest earlier, and then those both they drew a lot of people. So hopefully they can get back to the every weekend summer thing in Kalamazoo. It was a lot of fun.
Right. So I mean, as a resident, you can't help but be bullish and excited about Kalamazoo deciding they're moving forward, they're getting things done, they're going to try to create placemaking and entertainment venues and festivals to get the community together and have some fun and all of that. And then as a residential realtor, hopefully that makes you feel pretty happy about the future and the trajectory of the housing market and the opportunity for new developers to come in and kind of create new living arrangements for people who want to be close to that coolness, right? I mean, isn't that, it's fun to watch you pay attention to that and hopefully see the next decade or two roll forward in your career.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's gonna. I mean, you want to see the developments open up, and so I think there's reason for home builders to start really pushing the investment in new developments. It's worth it. People will come from out of state. They're gonna have to. They got to fill work still. People are still working at Western. People are still working at Stryker, Pfizer. Those jobs are still there, and those companies are growing. So we got to put those people somewhere, like you said. And to get them closer to downtown, there's a whole area. There's lots of area, lots of room to build. Hopefully, we can get those developments started after
Wonderful.
these investments.
Awesome. So where do you go for your source of these types of development projects? I mean, where do you hear about the country club being renovated and Arcadia Creek getting renovated? How do you keep your ear to the ground for our listeners to maybe follow some of those same either newsletters or socials?
Yeah, I just watch the news, just not on TV, but typically online. I have Google feed me my news every day on the things that I'm interested in. So I want to keep an eye on. Mostly it's development stuff and residential housing stuff and housing prices stuff. So, but that's how I stay engaged. And I drive around a lot. And if I see a big mound of dirt, I want to know what's going on. If I see a lot of construction, where's this construction leading to?
Right. No, it makes tons of sense. And so how can people maybe get in touch with you if they have any real estate investment ideas or interests in the greater Kalamazoo area? How do they get in touch with Jared Stout?
Yeah, you can call me, text me anytime. My phone number is 269-599-2008. You can email me. It's jaredstout@jaredstouthomes.com. I have a website. It's listingsforyou.com. You can go on the website. I have some things on the website. You can search for houses. Obviously, you can check your home value. There's a bunch of calculators on there if you want to see an investment calculator, how much a rental property might make you, whether or not you should buy or hold. I got calculators like that on the website. So that's the easiest way to get hold of me, though, is just give me a call, text, email.
Right on. Well, it's been a wonderful conversation. I'm excited to hear about Kalamazoo. Love all the cities in the state of Michigan, and travel to most of them every weekend. And it's just a lot of fun to explore and see the investment coming in. So, thank you for giving us a report from Southwest Michigan. We've been talking to the Realtor with eXp Realty of Southwest Michigan, Mr. Jared Stout. Appreciate you joining me.
Thank you, Chris. It was awesome.
Yep. And I'd like to give a final shout out to all of our loyal sponsors: Wagoner Financial, Good Marketing, Triterra Environmental, Keller Williams Advantage and Team, Michigan Rise, Kirk Byron State Farms, and the attorneys at Foster Swift. All great people doing excellent work. And if you found this show as a one-off, please like and subscribe to Michigan Reimagined everywhere you find your podcasts. This is Chris Buck signing off for Michigan Reimagined.